So I farm for like two kind of umbrella reasons, and I came to it for personal reasons, which is like being physically strong and capable, not being inside, getting physically dirty, seeing the manifestation of the thing. I don't work for a company that makes something that gets somewhere else. Like I grow a deliverable. That for me works for myself. And the other umbrella reason and kind of how I came to it is realizing all the things in the world that make us all different and unique butterflies. The one thing that really brings us together is food. And so many of, I believe, the world's like challenges and problems come from othering and not understanding and dehumanization. And if you sit down and eat food with somebody, they're human to you. And if I can be part of that, that's why I do this. Yeah, it's definitely about humanization through, we all eat. Yeah. That's like the only like real common thread. I would like people to feel nourished by and enjoy tasting food that is grown in their bioregion. Yeah. Grown and raised in their bioregion. Like, it's like, that's as simple as it is.
Yeah.
We often talk about the concept. So farmers markets have a lot of vendors, and not all, as far as farmers, are not all organic. They're not all using organic practices, and that's a common misconception in Oregon. In California, there's much more standardization with that. California agriculture is like a whole other story, though. But for me, when it comes to the end of the day, would I prefer to purchase a certified organic but non-locally grown, like let's say Southern California / Mexico, because it's really that borders where or Arizona is where a lot of that food's grown. Certified organic from, 1,500 miles away, that's been trucked up, that was very likely grown in some kind of single-use garbage plastic. Or would I rather buy something directly from a farmer within 30 miles of Portland that is not using organic methods? There are a couple of crops I have a hard line about, pesticides and synthetic pesticides and herbicides. But a lot of them, honestly, I prefer that, because I feel like the minimal amount of ingestion that I'm going to get, like, I'm not saying that's what I prefer overall. I would prefer a locally and organic.
And nuance is a part of this conversation.
But
it's a part of all conversations.
Totally. I can't with the trucking up here and breaking the backs of the labor that picked that food. Yeah. I love chatting with folks who are really involved with food systems in whatever perspective, but aren't really farmers, because that is what I think about all day. And it's just me. And I tell people at farmers markets, like, these are the only hands that ever touch this food.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like the seed producer is part of that. And certainly the microbes, whatever, but I think that a buddy of mine who is certainly not involved in food at all was like, let's get you to expand, let's get your branding, blah, blah. And he's awesome, he's great, whatever. I was like, nah. I was like, he's like, but couldn't you do a bigger booth? Couldn't you do? And I was like, well, sure. But a point of pride for me is, like, when people look at my farmer's market booth and see all the food that's there, and they connect, it's like a similar moment. They're like, wait, you grew all this? You picked all this? Yeah. And that, they're connecting to their food, like, right here. It wasn't all these people. And I think that going back to your very first question, is like the manifestation of the reasons why I farm, because it honors the physical part and like the emotional and spiritual parts that I connect to farming with the people who get to eat the food. And it's totally the great moment. It's totally that, like, honoring and just noticing how many people, where'd it come from, how many, like, totally soil microbial activity is like, let's get into that, you know?
That's the metaphysics of food.
Totally.